iSnoopDogg.com online radio with your free bets and sports picks. Today is Monday, September 8th, 2025. We have a great day and night of baseball ahead of us, but it is September and it's Monday night, so our game of the night is the Vikings at the Bears. Before we get to that game, I want to go through a couple baseball games that we do like. iSnoopDogg.com online magazine, free bets and sports picks. Yesterday on 9/7, Sunday, September 7th, iSnoopDogg.com online magazine, free bets and sports picks went 7-10 in the MLB and 17-10 in all of our NFL picks against the spread and over-under, along with money lines. Going 24-20 in all sports yesterday. iSnoopDogg.com online magazine, free bets and sports picks is currently 606 and 597 in its last 1,185 picks against the spread and over-under. We are still above 500. We are a proven 500 better. Baseball, Major League has been scoring below average in their past couple nights. I was hoping to get 10-plus wins in baseball. Last night I got 7. The night before I got 6. So I should be having a big day, and that's just because some of these games, a couple of them are scoring well above average. I'm talking 18 runs, 11 runs, so they're scoring well above average. And a few of them in the past couple nights. And then majority of the games are scoring below average, which gave us the record we had in the past 2 days. But we are 7-10 today, yesterday, 6-11 the day before in MLB. So we should be having a big next couple of days in Major League Baseball. Let's get to tonight's game. Before we do, here's a couple of games that I like on Monday, September 8th for Major League Baseball. Couple of games to look out for. Keep an eye out for. The Phillies at home are underdogs. Mets at Phillies. 6:45 game. MLB Network. The Phillies are underdogs at home. Statistically and by average for runs per game. According to iSnoopDogg.com online magazine, free bets and sports picks betting formula. I have this game 5-4, and that goes by the averages and the runs per games and the statistics for both teams. They are up to date. I brought them both up to date. These are the up-to-date statistics and averages and runs per game for both teams. I have this game at 5-4. Phillies, and the Phillies are underdogs at home, an 83-win team at home, underdogs, and statistically and by average, they have more runs per game against the team they're playing. I got the Phillies 5-4 over the Mets. I got the under of that. I got the over of that game at 8.5. And I like the Phillies to win the game outright at home. 83-win team plus 110. That's great money line value for an 83-win team at home. Mets are a 76-win team. A game to keep an eye out for. Another one we can take a look at is the Reds are statistically and by average a better team than the Padres, but they are on the road. The Reds by average are a better team in this game, Reds versus Padres, but the Reds are on the road. It's a game to look at. Cincinnati plus 120 on the road, but by average and statistically, they are a better team. Cardinals and Mariners, I have a total run amount for 9 runs in that game by average and statistics for the two teams. Vegas has that line at 7.5. Another game to look at is the Diamondbacks. Diamondbacks on the road, plus 155 at San Francisco Giants. The great thing about this game is that the Diamondbacks are by average and statistics in this game better than the Giants. 5-4 runs per game by average. 5-4 in the Giants' favor, in the Diamondbacks' favor, and the Diamondbacks are plus 155. They are on the road. Giants are a 72-win team, so are the Diamondbacks. It's a game to look out for. I do have this game at 9 runs for both teams by average, and Vegas has this game at 7.5. I did take the over. It's a game to look out for. Another game is the late game. Rockies at Dodgers. Rockies on the road don't score too many runs, just under 3. The over-under for this game is 9.5. I got this score at 5-3 according to averages and iSnoopDogg.com online magazine, free bets and sports picks, betting formula. I got this game at 5-3 based on runs per game and averages for the two teams, updated statistics. And Vegas has this game at 9.5. I got it at 8. Rockies don't really score too many runs. They're just under 3 runs on the road. Dodgers are a 79-win team. They're averaging right now, maxing out, maximum amount of runs they score is 5 on average. Even if they were to score 5-3 at their averages, that's still only 8. They're a run and a half under what Vegas has it at. It's a game to take a look at. But it's Monday night in September, so we are getting to football. It is Minnesota Vikings at the Chicago Bears. ESPN has this game opening up at, from Vegas, -1.5 in the Vikings' favor. Even though the Vikings are on the road, this game is in Chicago. Vikings -1.5 on the road in Chicago. The over-under on Vegas currently opened up, on ESPN, opened up from Vegas is 42.5 points. And the money line is even for Chicago. Even money. If you were to take Chicago Bears to win this game, you would put down $100. You would win $100. It is an even money line payout for the money line of this game. And we will get right to it. Minnesota at Chicago. We are going on a couple different averages and statistics. We are dating back to last season for a couple of them. And we did break down the first quarter numbers of what these teams were playing this preseason. We went to the first quarter because usually most of these starters that are playing the full game are out by the end, if not the half of the first quarter. So we kind of try to get an idea of what these starters might put down based on preseason numbers. But we got a couple different numbers for you. We'll get right to it. Based on some numbers from last year, the Minnesota Vikings were averaging 25.4 points per game. On the road, the Vikings were averaging 22.5 points per game. Chicago overall last year was 18.2 points per game overall, and at home they were averaging 20.9. Now, if you bring it up to this year, the first quarter of preseason, on the road, the Bears scored 0 points in their first quarter. At home, in the first quarter of their second preseason game, they scored 7 points. And their third game, at home, first quarter, they scored 0 points. Minnesota, in their first game on the road, in their first preseason game of this year, they scored 3 points on the road in the first quarter. At home, in their next game, they scored 0 points. And on the road, at home, in their third game, at home in Minnesota, the Vikings scored 3 points in their first quarter of their third preseason game. So it's just something to keep in mind. The Bears at home scored 7 points in the first quarter with their preseason. At home, they scored 0 in their second. If you were to break that down and win those 2 home games, we'd have 3.5 points each quarter. Between 2 home games, they scored 7 points in the first quarter. So if we divide those 2 home games, we have 3.5 points per game. If we were to apply that to 4 quarters, and this is based on them being home because they are home for this game, they would have 14 points. So it's something to keep in mind for the Chicago Bears. Now, the Minnesota Vikings on the road in their first game scored 3 points, but they only had 1 away game. in preseason. So they are scoring based on these short and small numbers of preseason, 3 games in just 3 first quarter appearances for most of the starters that will be playing most of the game in tonight's Monday Night Football game. They had 3 points in their one and only away game for preseason. But if you were to apply that to 4 quarters, they would have 12. So it's something to keep in mind if you were to put the Bears' first quarter's home points per game to the Vikings' away first quarter points per game this preseason. You would have the Bears 14 and the Vikings 12, where if you took last season's numbers overall, you would have the Vikings 24-20 over the Bears. So it's something to keep in mind with these first quarter numbers applied to all quarters. We'd be under, and under the point total for tonight's game of 42.5. And the Bears would be covering. If you ran with last season's numbers, overall on the road and at home for both teams, you would have the Vikings covering 24-20, and the game would be going over. So that's something to keep in mind. Let's see if live betting action affected these opening lines at all from Vegas. Now, as SnoopDogg.com online magazine, free bets and sports picks always does, we went through the entire internet, about 15 or 16 different casinos, and we saw where the live betting action is. We saw if any live betting action and live bettors have affected the opening lines for these games from Vegas. We want to see which side is betting mostly on the house. If the house is betting on, the casino is betting on a team, if they're picking up majority of a bet, to weigh out the live betting actions side of things to balance things out. We want to know if that's going on with the two teams. And so that's what we take a look at. So we did that for this particular game based on live betting action. We have this game actually going down a half point. We have Minnesota -1 based on live betting action. And we have Chicago +1 compared to the -1.5 for the Vikings. So based on that live betting action, it looks like 85% of this live betting action throughout all the casinos are betting on the Bears to cover the spread of 1.5. This isn't the money line. This is for the spread at 1.5, +1, -1.5 for the two teams, depending on which team you're taking. +1, -1. So it went from -1.5 Vikings to -1, which would indicate that live betting action, it looks around like 85% is betting on the Bears, which took it down to +1. So Vegas wants to make the other side a bit more attractive for other live bettors. So a game that was originally 1.5 that we have based on the preseason first quarter numbers and even last year's numbers, it looks like it's going to be pretty close either way. Vegas knows this. So what they did was they dropped the line down to -1, hoping and assuming that other bettors for this game are now going to take a Minnesota team that was once 1.5, now 1. So it looks like it's a bit more better of a pick. And what Vegas is hoping to do is balance out that 85%, whether they pick it up themselves or whether they get live bettors to pick it up for them. They are just looking to balance out that 85% of live betting action that has affected this line. And whether live betting action says it or not on the computer, usually Vegas has it balanced out by game time. Now the total for this game, 42.5, was what it opened up at based on live betting action. SnoopDogg.com online magazine, free bets and sports picks has it going up to 43.6. Now it looks like based on the money line payout, you have around 90% of live betting action on both sides, which means it's pretty evenly balanced out on both sides, closer to 50-50 on both sides if you were to break it down into a percentage. But 50-50 on both sides. So Vegas, it doesn't really care whether this game goes over or under. Just keep that in mind for your own personal well-being of your wealth. Vegas doesn't care if this game goes over or under. Vegas is going to pay the losers, pay the winners with the losers of the over-under, and they're going to put the juice, the commission in their pocket. They're just going to take the losers' money, pay the winners with it, and take the juice while they're making the move from that money. So it's pretty balanced out on both sides. So keep that in mind. It does look like, again, if you were to go with the preseason numbers based on the first quarter results and apply it to 4 quarters, this game goes well under. Based on last year's number, it's going to be right around 42.5, 43. I have a total of 44 points based on last year's numbers. So we'll get back to that. Just keep that in mind. This game is well balanced on both sides when it comes to live betting, so Vegas doesn't care whether it goes over or under. Also keep in mind with live betting action during game time, if you are a bettor who keeps an eye on live betting action, it can affect the result of things, in my opinion. If a game has a certain number for the over-under or for the total or for the point spread, and then all of a sudden a game like this, which is nationally televised, is going to have a lot of attention on it, all of a sudden a surge of bettors can bet on one side, and it's going to affect Vegas. It's going to make Vegas have to balance out the other side. So how they usually do that is by playing with the point totals or point spreads in live betting action. So it's something to keep an eye on. But when it comes to pre-game betting, before the game betting, this game is pretty well balanced out on both sides for the over-under. We do have it going up to 43.6, which indicates the most recent of live betting action is betting on the over. It's going up. So Vegas wants some people, some live betting action to bet on the under to keep it balanced. The money line for this game, the Vikings are going to be, it's opened up on even on ESPN from Vegas based on live betting action. Live action bettors. Thank you for the patience on that one. Based on live action bettors, they have brought Chicago to a more favorite money line payout, minus 110, compared to the even money line payout that opened up on ESPN from Vegas. So it does look like a large amount, around 92% of live betting action. And again, that doesn't mean just only 8% are betting on the other side. Vegas usually balances it out one way or another, whether it's them picking it up or live betting action in game time or adjusting the line to get some live action bettors on the other side. They do find a way to balance it out. But as of right now, 92% of live betting action has brought the Chicago Bears money line from an opening money line of even, put down 100 to win 100, to a minus 109, minus 110, put down 110 to win 100, which would make them a bit more of a favorite in Vegas's eyes based on the money line payout than an even line. So it's something to keep in mind. iSnoopDogg.com online magazine, free bets and sports picks. I have this game 24-20. I do keep in mind, I do take into consideration the first quarter results from the starters. I do put those points into consideration for the final point prediction on this game. I am going to lean with Vegas. Vegas has Minnesota favored in this game, even though it's close to even. They do have Minnesota favored slightly on the road. Based on last year's numbers, Minnesota was 22.5 points per game on the road last season, and the Bears were 20.9 at home. Have they improved? Have they dropped off? We're going to find out. I have the Vikings 24-20 in this game, which would put the game over and the Vikings covering the minus 1.5 spread that is on ESPN from Vegas. And that is iSnoopDogg.com online radio with your free bets and sports picks. Enjoy the game. Monday Night Football, Week 1. We had a great week 1. We went 17-10 against the spread, over-unders, and money lines in NFL. That's a great week 1. We're getting even better. We're still going off of some of last season's numbers. We're still getting these teams down, seeing how these players play, and where these teams are going to pan out to, what they're scoring, how the defenses are doing. So we'll get even better as the season goes on. 17-10 in our first week. Not counting tonight. We're hoping to go 2-0 tonight. We aren't taking the Bears, so the money line won't go towards our record of our quest to be the best with sports betting and sports picking. So we do have the Vikings 24-20. Vikings cover. Game goes over. And those are the 2 picks for tonight in NFL on iSnoopDogg.com. Online radio, free bets, and sports picks on our quest to be the best. On a runner in the jam during the game, iSpacebar.com has 30-minute delivery or less. New from the store to your door, anywhere. iSpacebar.com. This is iSnoopDogg.com online radio with your free bets and sports picks. Tonight, we have the Vikings beating the Bears 24-20. We have the Vikings covering the spread of -1.5 on the road. And we have this game going over the point total of 42.5. We have a point total of 44 points. Enjoy the game. Thanks for listening in. Thanks for taking the time. We know you're busy. Have a great night. Enjoy the game. Go Vikings. We hope we put some wins in your wins category this weekend and some cash in your pocket. This is iSnoopDogg.com online radio with your free bets and sports picks. Have a great night.